So today I'm going infinite with a super janky Phyrexian sacrifice combo deck using Gurgling Anointer and Bloated Processor to get infinite death triggers and hopefully win on the spot. Hey everyone, Hex here, and today I'm finally back, this time with a fun deck that not only wins games fairly, but has an infinite combo I'm going to try to pull off. It's very janky, but super effective when it gets going. Firstly, I want to thank you all for your continued support for this channel, and if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below to not miss out on future content, and you'll be massively supporting the channel in the meantime too. But onto this deck, and it's a Phyrexian tribal combo deck that can go infinite with just 2 cards and a little bit of setup. Firstly, we've got Gurgling Anointer. It's a 1/3, 3 mana Phyrexian horror with flying that says when it dies, return another target creature with mana value less than or equal to Gurgling Anointer's power from the graveyard to the battlefield. The other main combo piece is Bloated Processor. It's a 3/2 for 3 mana Phyrexian that can sacrifice Phyrexians for free to put a +1 counter on it. When it dies, incubate X, where X is its power. So the plan here is to find a way to pump our Phyrexians by just 2 extra power with lords, enchantments or artifacts, have an anointer in the graveyard and use the contaminator to freely sack an anointer. This will trigger the return of another one to the battlefield, and you can just repeat this loop as many times as you want. You're going to get a massive processor, then you can use Skrelv to squeeze an unblocked attack through, or ideally have an Elas il-Kor on the battlefield. This pings your opponent each time one of your creatures dies, so you can just drain your opponent infinitely. So we've got several ways to increase the power of our creatures, starting with Grafted Butcher. It's another Phyrexian, a 2 mana 2/2 that has a lord effect making all your Phyrexians have +1/+1. This creature also has a sweet ability to give your creatures menace when it ETBs, so you even get it to bring it back from the graveyard when your anointer dies for the final time to give your massive processor menace for a final swing. We've got In the Trenches, which has been pretty amazing today. It gives all creatures +1/+1, but for 6 mana you get to exile target non-land permanent, which is very relevant in today's meta. I'm also playing Dredging Claw. It's a weird equipment that gives +1/+0 and costs 0 to equip when a creature enters the battlefield from the graveyard, so it will automatically attach to your Gurgling Anointers. And finally, a wedding announcement. Eventually it will pump up your team, but the creatures it creates are pesky blockers, and the card draw along the way as well allows you time to get your combo pieces together, and it also creates sacrifice fodder for Diabolic Intent. It's a 2 mana sorcery that lets you tutor any card in your deck by sacrificing a creature. The plan is mainly to sacrifice an anointer to get one into the graveyard to find another, but you can just easily sack your 1/1s if needed. I've got cut downs and Infernal Grasp for removal, and 2 copies of Kayla's Reconstruction to help find the final combo pieces. This card has been proven very effective today and is very good if you draw this late in the game. I've got 24 lands, and that's the deck. So Phyrexian tribal decks are pretty strong anyway, but today I'm purely trying to combo off with infinite triggers, so we'll see how I got on. For a combo deck like this, my main goal is just to have fun and see what I can do, but just a few tweaks would make this a much more powerful tribal deck, able to compete in much more serious games. So sit back, let me know if there's any changes you would make, and yeah, let's just see how I got on. Alright, on the draw here, looks pretty nice. We've got our 2 lords, or our lord effects with In the Trenches and the Grafted Butcher, so should be a nice hand here for us to keep, that is. Opponent with a swamp. Yeah, mono black it looks like. So we just want to hit some land drops. Pestilent Siphoner, alright, so maybe a toxic deck. But yeah, we'll just drop this Grafted Butcher now. No attacks. Want to hold open the Skrelv's activation to save our Butcher if needed. Opponent with a Backwater. Okay, so a Dimir Poison or Proliferate deck, I'm guessing. And yeah, they've gone to kill our Skrelv. We'll let that go. So that exiles, I believe. So it's a good job they didn't target our Butcher, because we may have to bring this Butcher back later. But it's a fine time to play our Into the Trenches, and yeah, just attack for 3. So as it stands at the moment, our creatures are going to have +2 power. But opponent has Vraska's Fall to get rid of our Butcher. So hopefully they run low on cards soon. But we'll just keep playing our cards. And there's a Gurgling Anointer. As you see, it's a 2/4. So when this dies, we get to return a creature with mana value 2 or less at the moment from the graveyard to the battlefield. So opponent elects to just bounce our Anointer. If that had died, we could have brought back the Butcher. So we have continuously hit our land drops, which is exactly what we want. Okay, a little bit of stick there. But what we get to do now is Diabolic Intent our Gurgling Anointer. And this will allow us to search for another card. Normally it would be another Anointer, but we do have one in our hand anyway. And obviously when this dies, the Butcher returns. So hopefully the opponent can't exile this, because that would be... Okay. Alright, so they do exile our Butcher. I think what that's meant is we're going to need to find another Lord effect here. So Into the Trenches is... Or In the Trenches, sorry, is a fine card. But we're already up to 6 poison. We find a swamp. But yeah, we've got the combo online here. We've just got it all in our hand. So really just need to sort of survive a turn, I guess, here. So yeah, as long as our Anointer isn't exiled here. Okay, Mesmerizing Dose. Does put us on 7 poison. I guess 8. But yeah, we should be in a decent position here, actually. So we'll just end our turn here. Let's see what they do. Like I said, we're on 8 poison. Mesmerizing Dose again on our Bloated Processor. All this does is tap our creature. I guess they do proliferate, so we go to 9 poison. No blue mana open for them, so we'll see what they do. So they attack with a 1-1. But yeah, we can activate our combo here. Or start our combo. That brings back a flyer, so we can block this Siphoner. And see if we get to survive this turn. It's another Siphoner for our opponent. Okay, so we're in a tough situation now. We can block the Siphoner game, but we do need another combo piece. We need another Processor or or Elas il-Kor. That is the perfect top deck now. So, yeah, excellent. So we're just going to be able to demonstrate a loop here of sacking one Anointer, bringing back the other, sacking this one, bringing back another. See if the opponent is going to scoop. There's nothing more they can do here. The Mesmerizing Dose, all it's done is it's stopped the Processor from attacking. But yeah, this is a combo. Very janky. We a bit lucky there with the Elas il-Kor, but we could have blocked the Siphoner anyway. So maybe we would have found another way of winning. In the Trenches could have also exiled the Siphoner if we needed to, so I've been trying to get this combo over the last couple of sets actually, but always needed a free way to sacrifice one of our creatures. The Bloated Processor is the perfect way to do that. Alright then, so I'm not sure why the opponents just haven't just quit, but we get to ping them to death here, and yeah, that's the little infinite combo here. Alright, on the draw here, hand is, it's okay. We have Diabolic Intent to help find any more combo pieces we're going to need, but let's see how we get on. Opponent with a Mountain, we draw a Cut Down. And no early plays from our opponent with the mono red deck. Surely they can't be missing creatures or spells. They find a third Mountain and... Okay, Fable, so different type of red deck here. Maybe like a big red deck. As we find an Anointer, which is nice, but gonna get this wedding announcement going. If anything, this wedding announcement is going to be a little Lord effect for later on, but also allows us to create some 1/1s that we can Diabolic Intent. We just need another Anointer, really. We need this one in the graveyard that's in our hand, the Butcher on the battlefield, and yeah, so we've got all the combo pieces. We just need to try and survive. Opponent with a 4th Mountain, though, and their Leveler is in the graveyard. But yeah, we'll drop the Anointer here. And no point attacking, we're trying to combo here. 1 damage isn't going to do too much. Be nice if we can find an Elas il-Kor along the way as well. That or a Skrelv to try and find a force through an unblocked attack, because one of the things with this deck is you do get a massive processor, infinitely large, but you do need to attack the opponent at some point. Opponent blows up the board with the Brotherhood's End. But an Anointer in the graveyard isn't the worst thing in the world. Fortunately though, I can't use the Diabolic Intent right now. And just going to pass the turn. Hold open, cut down. See what they want to do. They do find their 6th mountain, and it's a Maniform Hellkite. Okay. So we're still on 20 life, so I'm not too afraid right now. There's Kayla's Reconstruction. Now that is a good card at trying to find anything we need at the end. Maybe an Elas il-Kor or a Skrelv. So what to do here? Gonna just Diabolic Intent our 2/2 before the opponent kills it themselves. Find another Anointer. Play this Anointer. So fingers crossed this one survives. Does have 4 toughness, so it would survive the sweeper from our opponent. They do have a leveler in their graveyard though, so we've got to be careful of that. It's Sulfim, okay, to double damage. So yeah, this game looks in the balance. I'm going to make another version of this Anointer deck with red and black, and maybe try and fling it, a bit like the Yargle deck. That will allow us to filter out our deck with Fables and such forth. So I'm going to keep an eye on that deck. But for the time being, this white and black deck seems pretty good anyway. I've won a lot of games without the combo, trying to get these videos, or trying to get some gameplay footage of a combo being made. So we'll attack here with the 3/5. It has Menace. We are threatening lethal, to be completely honest. We can, as long as they have more than, or less than 2 blockers, we should be in a pretty decent position. As opponent goes for a board wipe. Well, Brotherhood's End. But yeah, we can just create the most enormous processor here by sacrificing our Anointer, bringing back another one. And if we're pretty smart about this, we can also sacrifice or bring back the Butcher next turn to give our processor Menace. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see where this goes, but first things first, we're going to create a massive processor that at least can threaten lethal. So we're going to want it above 13 power. Opponent's 3/3 is going to die end of turn, so that's nothing I need to worry about. I just hope they attack with the 4/4. So, unfortunately we don't have Elas il-Kor, but alright, so we've made a large enough processor that if we can get through the attack, we should be able to win the game. I guess we've got Kayla's Reconstruction as well, if we want to try and find a Skrelv for future turns, or we'll see how we get on, but we'll let the Gurgling Anointer die, the processor die. I guess we could have also sacrificed our Butcher there as well, but that would have meant that we couldn't bring back the other Anointer, I guess, because the power would have been less. Opponent is going to get in with a 4/1 though, so if they haven't got another play, we should have lethal next turn. No further plays. Alright, well, we'll just drop this, bring back this Grafted Butcher. That will give our processor Menace, and we should be able to attack here for lethal. So, yeah, different type of win here, but a massive processor gets the job done. Alright, on the play. Pretty nice hand. Want to hit some white mana to get this Reconstruction going. But Elas il-Kor and Grafted Butcher are fantastic draws to have in our hand here. Opponent named Soldier. So the 2 Butchers are brilliant because that's the +2 power we need for our Gurgling Anointers. Just got to try and find that card. Opponent with Soldiers. And Thalia. Okay, that's going to set us back on the Reconstruction. So we find another Grafted Butcher. I mean, several of these on the battlefield is going to be pretty difficult for our opponent to deal with anyway. We'll see what they've got. Brutal Cathar. Yep, they take our Elas il-Kor. Fortunately, we don't have a Skrelv to... okay, there's a Infernal Grasp. So, I mean, that is a nice card to have. Fortunately, Thalia being out makes it slightly awkward. Ideally, you'd want to blow up the Brutal Cathar as it's attacking and kill it with the creature that's underneath. But I think we'll just throw down our other Grafted Butcher and have 2 3/3s on defense. Definitely want to be playing a spell, though, to keep the Brutal Cathar from transforming. And it's Yoshian Tactician to pump up their team. There's Dredging Claw. Pretty innocuous artifact this is. Works really well in this specific deck. Don't need it here though with our Grafted Butchers. We have enough power. Really don't want to... I really want to play a spell without it so it doesn't turn into nighttime. But I think the best thing to do here is let it go to night so that if they do have any other Brutal Cathars, they're going to come out and they're not going to be able to deal with our Butchers. And we'll just take the 3 damage when we try and kill the opponent's Moonrage Brute. So, situation where I'm happy to let it go night here. They have a Siege of Veteran, that's fine. See what they want to target. Okay, well they've gone for the Brute. Yep, we'll just take this out. Take the 3 life with the ward cost. And then we have a 4/4 Death Toucher. And we'll just kill the Thalia here. It has first strike, so we can't put a Butcher in front of Thalia and then kill the Tactician to kill the Thalia later. I don't want to lose my creature, so... And opponent gets a 1/1, but our creatures survive, and Thalia's off the battlefield. And it's Skrelv, okay. Fortunately, we haven't got the white mana to cast the Reconstruction. I don't really want it to go to daytime, but I think I'm going to need to play 2 spells here, so we'll drop Skrelv. If that survives, at least that protects some of our team. And yeah, let's just get this Butcher on the battlefield. And our team have Menace, so I'm still trying to combo off here. So I guess I could be more aggressive than I'm being, but they need to deal with our board here. It's pretty strong, and we're going to be able to hopefully attack through their blockers. The 2/2 they've got is the one that's going to be able to block our... we can't name that basically with Skrelv, so they want to hold the 3/3 back on defense, I think. But we're on 8 life. They put a counter on the 5/5, and they go to attacks. I think we'll just take that. We'll just go down to 3, and we'll try and win this turn. Bloated Processor here. Alright, well, that is a good draw. Gain a life back, go up to 4. No attacks, and we'll just end this turn. So, the Processor being able to just sacrifice the board, basically, and then leaving Skrelv to put an unopposed attack through next turn is how we're likely going to win here. They put their counter on Denic and attack. Alright, so we can get a bit nifty here with our blocks. So we'll just throw a load of things in front of their creatures and sacrifice them with the Bloated Processor. Firstly, they're not going to gain any life off this Denic. And although we don't kill their creatures, they haven't left much on defense here, and we can just name white on our Skrelv and hopefully just squeeze enough damage through with the Bloated Processor to win this game. Depends what they've got in their hand, I think. But obviously the Skrelv can't block anyway, but that's how we're going to hopefully win the game next turn. Don't want to kill any of their creatures. I don't want to create any artifact creatures here. So we'll block like this, and then we'll just start sacking everyone. I guess this is going to drain through the Elas il-Kor as well. That's pretty nice. Oh, I see. The Grafted Butchers were pumping the Processor. Okay, so although we're getting counters on them, they're losing the Lord effects. I didn't think about that. It hasn't really made too much difference to the Processor, but we've got the opponent down to 6. We're on 4. And yeah, there's no follow-up play from them, so we should just be able to name white here and be done with this. Don't have white mana though, so we're having to take another damage there. So it's lucky that we're on 3, but yeah, we see it through the old-fashioned Phyrexian sacrifice way. Alright, on the play, hand's fine. Having an Anointer in as a combo piece in our opening hand is definitely something worth keeping, I think. We'll just play a Swamp and hold open the cut downs. No rush here. Opponent with the plains. They pass their turn. We find Elas, so we'll drop that instead. Opponents don't seem to like this card. It's pretty weak to removal, so... Oh, and it doesn't die. Knight of Dawn's Light, a 2/2 with the first strike, but we'll play Grafted Butcher, and I think we'll just attack for 3 damage. I guess we could have held the Elas il-Kor on defense, but I would worry a little bit if they get tricky by killing our Butcher as we block with the 3/3. We'd lose our board, so I'm fine with what we did. Cut down their creature, they find a blue mana, so it looks like they're playing Knights, I would suggest. Xerax Strobe Knight, okay, 2/2 Vigilance. Create a creature token with Vigilance if you've cast 2 or more spells. Well, we have cut down so we can respond to anything that they're trying to do. But yeah, attack our opponent for another 3 damage. They're down to 14. So the second this wedding announcement turns into wedding festivity and starts pumping the team, we just need another Anointer, and we have a infinite combo going on. Invasion of Xerax, okay. They're going to bounce something. Okay, they've gone for our Elas il-Kor, which is fine. We'll just cut down the 2/2 while we have an opportunity. We want to keep them from killing their invasion for as long as possible. Get in the trenches. Another way to boost the power of our team. But unfortunately, we can't double spell here. So we'll drop Gurgling Anointer. And we'll attack with both, so we draw a card. Really need to find some land drops. Okay, there's Eiganjo, which is pretty nice in a couple of different ways. Okay, Anointer is actually a 3/5 because we drew a second card on our turn, so that's another very small way to add power to it, but it's not feasible if you're trying to combo off because the moment it hits the graveyard it loses there. But down comes Adeline. And Ossification on the Anointer, okay. Alright, Ossification's annoying, but it is what it is. We'll play it in the trenches here. And we'll just attack with both. I want to just try and drop their life as much as possible. It doesn't matter if they block. Okay, they block the 2/2. Okay. So one of the options we've got is In the Trenches has a little ability on the end where we get to find, or we get to pay 6 to exile target non-land or target permanent. So we can always exile the Ossification to get our Gurgling Anointer back. So we just need another Gurgling Anointer here. And we have our Kayla's Reconstruction to help us. Okay, there's the 6th mana. So we'll Reconstruction here and we'll look for another Anointer. Okay, there is an Anointer. We get to put 3 cards onto the battlefield, so we'll put the Processor, the Anointer, and I guess Skrelv. So we actually have an infinite combo next turn. They're out of cards. Hopefully they don't find a farewell, but what we're going to do is Into the Trenches the Ossification of the opponent, and then we can just go through the Processor combo to sacrifice our Anointers and use Elas il-Kor to win. Opponent just finds a land. They are only on 8 life. Hopefully they don't scoop. Okay, they scoop. Fair enough. We did have the combo there, though. That was almost achieved.